Good evening, everyone. Appreciate you being here. I know a lot of you have had a phenomenal week and glad to have you. Uh, for those of you that care, Kentucky's winning by about 40 at halftime, so we're good. I'm good. Life's good. Wanted to let you guys know November 7th, Joe Richard is having some surgery done, so please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I've got a couple of questions I want to hear from you guys tonight. I got a few things I need to share. I hope you'll stay with me as I go through this. If this is your very first time with us, we meet here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right before the corporate call. You just go to DaleCalvertZoom.com and you can register. In the top right-hand corner here, you will see the link to get on the corporate call just as soon as we're finished tonight. I think it would be a good one to jump on tonight. I would just recommend it. I'm hoping we have some good news tonight. I'm sure we probably will have some good news, and I don't know what it all might be. So that's right after us tonight. Want to congratulate all of you guys that are completing your company reports on a weekly basis. A lot of you are starting to do this for the first time. So it's going to help you guys. It's going to get you into a rhythm. It's going to help you stay focused on the income generating activities of this business. And if you're serious about this business, I just can't imagine not doing this on a weekly basis because it will make a huge impact for you. I promise. One of the most important tools that I could recommend. But congratulations to all of you. This week, our top company report earners, number 6 was Shelley Giddings. Number 5, Mr. Dan Parks in Tennessee. Number 4 was Reliable Dave Buchanan, 42. That's pretty darn good. Number 3 was Dave West. Dave's in Minnesota. Number 2, Carol McIntyre. It's been with us now for almost 30 days. Carol's in the Orlando area. And number 1 was Rachel Spears, also in Minnesota with 87 this week. So congratulations to our top 6 and to everybody that completes the company report. This is just something I cannot recommend highly enough to get yourself focused and in a rhythm. And there's no more important time to get focused than now. You people are just crushing it. You guys and gals are crushing it. This past week, 11 of the top 25 in the Loop are on this team. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. On the ERC leaderboard, 8 of the top 25 on this team. Again, Gordon Kelly at the top. And you guys are just doing awesome. You're doing phenomenal. I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to listen to the corporate calls this week. There was a couple of things I just want to make sure that you guys heard. Paul Driscoll at Loop, they made the comment that he's really focused now on getting licensed content in Loop in other markets around the world, which is great news because a lot of us have team members in other countries. So I hope they'll continue on that path. And I'm hoping by the first of the year, Loop is going to be available in multiple countries, is my hope. Down the road, they also said that it will be possible for iHub reps, hopefully, to buy leads from Loop because Loop is doing their own marketing methods. They're mailing out players. As you guys know, they're all over social media. And they said ultimately what they would like to see for them to continue to do the marketing and then provide those leads to people in the field to follow up with. So if they have a lead come in your area or your state, that we would have access to buy those leads from Loop. I hope that happens. I mean, who knows? That would be a phenomenal for us, and that would be the ultimate goal, and we can all just keep our fingers crossed. Everyone has a new iHub ERC. If you're part of the ERC affiliate team, you have a new website in the back office. It's phenomenal. I would use that one for sure. It's under marketing in your back office. So when you want to send a website to somebody in those rare cases where you need to do that, that's the one I would use. It looks great. Use that link. I expect an update on OVN token going on the exchanges, an update I'm hoping maybe tonight on tonight's corporate call, but I'm thinking in the next week or two, we're going to hear something on the OBN token going on the exchange, at least get some type of update. The main reason is because originally they said that once the token goes on an update or goes on the exchanges, then there would be we would have an event to kind of after that to kind of kick that off. That's what they said a couple of months ago. Now, keep in mind, this was prior to anybody knowing anything about ERC. So I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I'm saying it is possible. They did announce last night it's going to be on December 10th. I've had multiple emails today from different people. Dale, did you hear about December 10th? Do I need to plan on being there? So on and so forth. I want to wait and hear what they say about it tonight. They will be talking about this tonight for sure, so I want to hear about it. My granddaughter's in the middle of a basketball tournament that week. You know, so we'll just have to see how it all plays out, what the plans are. I don't know anything other than what all of us heard on one of the calls earlier this week. A couple reminders, there's nothing more important over the next 12 months. Over the next 12 months than a team culture that promotes personal responsibility, wisdom of the ages principles, personal progress, and supporting each other. It's real important, especially over the next 12 months. It's your responsibility as a sponsor to give your new team members the opportunity to get plugged in and stay plugged in. I would ask every member of my team, when you fill out your company report every week, send me a copy. If you're not doing that as a leader, it's something you should really think about doing. If you're leading a team, then lead the team. Get a copy of their company report so you can monitor what's going on. What did Zig say? You can have anything in life you want if you do what? Help enough other people get what they want. So you have to keep tabs of where your people are on this journey and down this road. When a new person joins, make sure they join the team email list at CMG iHub team. If you have to put them in yourself and let them know, you do that. Make sure you welcome them to the Facebook group. Please notify me when they become a 10 Club member. At least send me their email address. If you can send a picture and postal mailing address, we'll love you because we don't have to try to track them down. But plugged in leaders, don't assume your team is doing that because they're not. Every week I hear from somebody that should have been recognized in the 10 Club a few weeks ago that nobody, they've never been recognized. Nobody's ever let us know that, hey, they're a 10 Club member. So please, guys, keep getting better. We got to all help each other. And you say, well, Dale, you're nitpicking. No, I'm not, because really all of this together is what really makes an impact in the long term. Continue to add to your loop customers. As you get new loop customers, continue to add them at CMG Digital Business Owners Group. That's the other Facebook group where we just recognize customers. If you have any questions on what I've just said here, get them answered. Dale, I don't know how to add people to the email list. Get that question answered. Dale, what email address am I supposed to let you know when the 10 Club? You have 7 different email addresses. Which one am I supposed to? Guys, I can't take this much longer. Please, please, this is easy, but it's important. It's important. Leaders lead. The 2 best side gigs in history. This is the best 1-2 punch as far as side gigs in the history of side gigs, in the history of business at home. It's hard for me to really wrap my mind around the fact that both of these opportunities are under one umbrella called iHub Global. And I was thinking about it the other night, and I'm thinking, Dale, have you ever seen anything closely remote to this? How could you try to explain it to somebody? And the only thing I could come up with was Herbalife started in 1980 and it exploded, but it was $3,000 to become an Herbalife distributor, a direct distributor in 1980. And they had an awesome row for about 3 or 4 years. And then the government came in, they had some legal problems. And a lot of the people left Herbalife and they went directly into NSA. Jeffrey Birdie, the #1 income earner at NSA, started with Herbalife. 7 of the top 10 money earners in NSA actually came from Herbalife. And they went on for another 4 or 5 years, made a lot of money. A lot of them did. So from the time Herbalife started to NSA, before NSA turned into Juice Plus, those few years made a lot of millionaires during that few year period of time. Of course, then NSA turned into Juice Plus, and it's never been the same since. But there was a period, a small period of time that made a lot of millionaires. I think that's where we are with iHub Global right now over the next few years. I sincerely believe that. And to prosper and in any opportunity today, there's a few things that have to happen. #1, there has to be an acceptance in the marketplace by the end user, by the person using your product or service. Well, you all know owners love the loop players. They love the digital signage. They love everything about it. It's free. They love it. There's not a organization that receives ERC money that's not thrilled, beyond thrilled. So we aren't selling anything to the market. The market loves what we're doing more than anything I've ever seen. The timing is good. The ERC timing, man, I would give anything if we got involved, 2 years ago or 14 months ago, but we didn't. But I'm glad that we're here now. And as I said last week, I sincerely believe that we still have enough time to create $1 million income with the ERC opportunity. But I think it's going to be gone by summer of next year. I just think it's going to be useless by summer of next year. That's my opinion. But it has $1 million upside potential. And if something doesn't have the opportunity to create $1 million, I don't know why in my lifetime I ever did anything that didn't have that potential, but I have. We're involved in category creators. We have a very competent home office staff. If you guys were on the ERC call with the bottom line rep, he just kept going on and on and on about he's never seen anything like we have to work with in our back office, and it is phenomenal. And we have a very strong team culture here with all of you guys, very strong. And that's what it takes. So what's required by us, or what helps us? What gives us a competitive advantage? If you have a traditional small business, a lot of traditional small business contacts, or you've worked in the B2B space, you have experience there, you've got an advantage. Work ethic, you got to have that. You got to understand numbers. A lot of people get involved in entrepreneurial endeavors. They don't understand the whole concept of law of averages. So you got to have that. Many of you have developed that over the years. You got that. Time management's the best kept secret of the rich. Many of you have learned how to manage your time over the years. So you've either developed these mindsets or you haven't during your entrepreneurial journey. You either have or you haven't. And most of you have. And see, and that's what it all comes down to. It's either you have it or you don't. I had no time management skills when I started in this profession. I had to decide to quit being a softball warrior and quit playing softball 3 nights a week if I wanted to get serious about building my business. We all have decisions to make on where we're going to spend our time, or how we're going to get educated or not get educated. We've talked a lot in the last few months about having bigger goals, 10x goals. Most people don't have goals that will get them out of the bed and get them focused every morning. It's a good idea to have those. If you have positive sales experience, that can be a plus, can be a good plus here. If you have team building experience, successful team building experience, that can be very good here for one reason. It helps you understand the importance of team culture and of helping leaders learn how to lead. That will help. It will help. It will pay dividends. But finding your niche and the best way to get in front of them, I think, is something that we all have to be looking at, especially as it relates to ERC. We have to depend upon each other right now, especially over the next few weeks and months, because all of us here know exactly how to get the loop player in the marketplace very successful. All of our training has been recorded. It's in the back office. I'm convinced anybody can come in, spend 10 hours in CMGI Hub back office, and they will know exactly what they need to do to prosper with the loop opportunity. That's there. It's not with ERC. ERC, we're all learning together. I have no doubt that the place to start is in your warm market and with loop customers. That's a given. I have no doubt about that. But what about after that? That's where we all have to really help each other. So a lot of people are doing email promotions, direct outreach. A lot of you have experience doing that in the past. Some are doing meetup groups. Some are doing cold phone calls, just calling businesses. Some, and not very many, and this is something I might want to talk about later, are yanking on doors in industrial parks. There's a lot of big warehouses and businesses in a lot of cities where it's all industrial. That's something to think about, because you could get in front of a lot of businesses, large businesses, 300, 400, 500 employees pretty quick. But the thing is, guys, we have to all figure this out right now, and time is not on our it's not on our side. It's just not on our side. So I would ask you to ask yourself, what is unique to your location, your expertise, your niche, maybe your geographical area of the country where you live in? Are there a lot of trucking companies, hemp farms, schools, horse racing farms, mom and pop businesses? What niche can you tap into that's not obvious to everyone? Something to think about. Now, what's really required to hit a personal windfall for everybody that ever sees this with these $2 million opportunities? And if we stop and think about this, could it really be that much simpler? Yes, everything that we talked about is important, but what are we really doing here? We're giving away loop players to business owners who love them. That's what we're doing. And right now, we have zero competition. You can own your town. I was talking with Alan earlier this week, and one of his team members was somewhere, and somebody that none of them knew were installing loop players in his territory. And it's like, he said, that's offensive. And it's like, I get that, but that's where this is going. And those of us that are really working the ERC program right now understand. We know what we're dealing with ERC every day. All of us that are working it, we hear it. Oh yeah, I've got mine. Yeah, I've applied. We hear that quite often. So we got to get through more people than the people that were doing this 14 months ago. That day where we are now with ERC is coming with loop. You got to understand, we aren't going to have it this good for this for very long. If you're going to own your town, own it now. So going through massive numbers to find, right now we're going through massive numbers to find businesses, schools, nonprofit organizations that we can help obtain stimulus money on a contingency basis. They don't have to spend one nickel. So that's what we're doing right now. We're giving away loop players in markets where we have no competition, and we're going through massive numbers because of the competition right now to find companies, organizations that we can give stimulus money to, no upfront fees, no cost. They get paid, we get paid. It's the best of both worlds. It's the best of both worlds. I would have hated to miss out on this altogether. And the same is going to be said again 2 years from now. Everybody's going to be saying, as we've said, how do I find businesses that don't already have these loot boxes? That's coming, guys. So it just comes down to getting out of our own way, doing the numbers, provide value to the customers that you're serving. We are doing a tremendous value to small business owners as well as anybody that qualifies for the stimulus money. That's what we do. So understand this. Yes, there are some advantages. If you've been in small business or B2B, if your work ethic has been developed, if your time management skills have been developed, if you've learned to think bigger, if you've had positive experience, sales experience or team building experience or whatever, you've already identified, my niche is the trucking industry, my niche is horse farms, whatever your niche is, I have experience there, I know all the people, you have positive advantages, there's no question. But the only reason you have positive advantages is because you've already come down this road to some extent. Everybody travels the same road. And you've either in your past taken the time to get control of your time management, or you haven't taken time to get control of your work ethic, or you're watching Laverne and Shirley reruns. You either have or you haven't. And if you haven't, you've got to now. If you're ever going to, now is the time. Now, there's one thing I want you to really understand. All of you have to understand, just because you're here doesn't mean diddly. You have to play the games to win. You have to play. You have to be on the court. Consistent effort doesn't always produce consistent results, but it always produces success. Here's something else people don't understand. In every opportunity I've ever worked, 50 to 60 to 70% of the time was spent on one thing: lead generation. That has been eliminated here. You want to find leads for ERC? Go to an industrial park. You want to find leads for Loop? Go to a strip mall. Guys, leads has been eliminated here. We don't even have to think about it, worry about it. All we got to do is get into a consistent rhythm, and it will always produce success. This is a great example of this. I have not stopped smiling since I read this yesterday. Last night, I kept telling Donna, I said, isn't that awesome about Maryland? And I would work some more, and it would flood me. I said, isn't that so cool about Maryland? You know, and I got chills on my arms thinking about it. It's so cool. It is so cool for me, because consistent effort doesn't always bring consistent results, but it always brings success. And y'all probably saw this. I scheduled my first call, approximately 50 W-2s from Marilyn Cox. She lives in Canada. She's not even in the United States. She's been plugged in, going out there, doing the forms and creating leads in Canada, in the Toronto area, in anticipation of Loop coming to Canada. She's been hitting the streets. She's hit the streets more in Toronto than 90% of the people in this company have in their own backyard. And Loop's not even in Toronto yet. So when this came, she jumped on it. And I saw this last night, and again, it's just touched me, man. It made my month. And when you stop and do the numbers, see, after your first ERC contract, you will know you can do more. Everybody. We shouldn't count our chickens before they're hatched, but this fires me up so much, I'm going to hatch them just a little bit. I'm not trying to jinx anything. But at 50 W-2s at 10,000 each, you're talking $500,000. 20% bottom line fee is $100,000. 17% to Maryland is possible. That's $17,000 in commissions on her first deal. And it couldn't happen to a better person. One day we'll hear Maryland's entire story. But tonight we're going to hear a little bit about this experience here in just a second. I just want to end it with this. Dawn and I are very thankful for each one of you. Everybody should be thankful and excited that we all have the opportunity. Each one of us have the opportunity to end 2022 with a bang, in this year with a bang, and go into 2023 with the 2 best side gigs in American history. And I don't say that lightly. I really believe under one umbrella, one company, we have the 2 best opportunities that I have seen in 42 years. And here is the bottom line. Y'all have heard me say this 1,000 times. This is it. You know, I'm fired up and excited about the last part of this year and next year, but really, this changed my life when I got this from my head to my heart. The only thing an entrepreneur really should ever get excited about is their ability to make themselves do every day what needs to be done. That's it. If you master yourself, the rest of the business world is easy. It's simple. If you can do this, get your time management, get your self-talk, everything that I've talked about for years, and work harder on yourself than you do on your opportunity. Because if you, those of you that have done that are progressing. Those of you that maybe are not progressing at the level that you want, the only way to wrap your mind around all of this is not by studying it or being on webinars or being on podcasts or being on Zoom meetings. It's get on the court, play the game. That's how you're going to master it. And there's not one person that's coming down this road that won't tell you that to be absolutely 100% true. Don, we'll let everybody take themselves off mute. I got a couple of notes. If anybody has made at least 50 cold calls, I want to hear from you tonight. Just 50 calls. Because at one point I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do an 8-hour, phone. I'm just going to pound the phones for 8 hours one day just to see. I want to see what the numbers are going to look like because we don't know. But for those of you that may be or have been, here's my first thought on the phone conversation. My name is Dale Calvert from over in Marietta. If I'm calling somewhere around here, my name is Dale Calvert from over in Marietta. I have information about stimulus money due to A&Z Manufacturing. Who do I need to speak with? That's what I'm thinking about the initial call. I have information about stimulus money due, whatever the name of the business is. Who do I need to speak with? But we'll continue to move in this direction. Marilyn, come off mute.
Oh, anyway, thank you for your thoughts, Dale. I appreciate it. I just want to say that I've known Dale ever since I was with Total Life Changes, and I just followed him all the way through to iHub. And in the past, even though he's a great trainer and I did the work, I just didn't find I was making any success. But with this opportunity, I'm just blown away by the fact that we can actually give money away and get paid ourselves. I just can't get over it. And I just want to share briefly my experience. My first one, I just went, I headed for Rochester because it's fairly close to Toronto. And I did the emails that is in the script. I did actually the one that Shelley had given. And then I got a response. So I'm the principal of the school. So right away, well, not right away, but almost right away, I called her and I went according to the script that Dale had put. And so she said, well, I don't think I'm qualified. And we're actually connected to the parish. So it comes all on one payroll. So she said, well, maybe bottom line, maybe 50, and then was it 50? And then 500, 100 in that range. She wasn't sure. So she had her call. So I said, well, listen, you just call us, have a specialist call her. I made the appointment for her. Then I saw the call wasn't completed. So I emailed her And she said, oh, I had a call from the office, out of the office. Then I realized that she got actually an email automatically to reschedule her. I didn't have to do anything. That was great. So I'll hear from her tomorrow. And I have another lead that came up today. I have to call that person, but it just, yeah, I don't see how anybody can fail at this if they do the work and they do it right. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I just can't wait to get going.
Yeah, because you've done direct outreach before, but
Yes,
we've never been able to do direct outreach, giving people stimulus money.
it just blows my mind. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. I can't even tell you how excited I am for you. And see what might happen. That school ends up, if they're part of a parish, then the actual parish and the school, because the parish has employees as well on W-2s. So you could combine them together and it might end up being more than 50. You never know.
I don't know.
But one day they're going to hear your whole story. I promise. But
Okay, that will
yeah,
be.
but I just, it hit me. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things hit me, but when I saw that yesterday and knowing you and knowing the time and the energy and the effort and the support that you have provided this team, and I see Alan shaking his head, and a lot of people know that, to see that happen for you so quickly, it did my heart good. So we're proud of you. All of us are. We really are. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dale.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I've got a couple of things I want to ask. And because I want to hear from you guys the rest of the time here, I want to make sure we got 27 minutes. You can raise your hand if you have anything you want to ask. But the thing that I would like to know, and I don't know if Philip's on here yet or if he's done this yet, but has anybody made at least 50 outreach phone calls? If you have, raise your hand or come off mute, because I want to hear from you. Okay. Whoever's raised their hand there, CMG team, something. Team Hanson. Tony, have you made 50 phone calls or you have a question? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Are you talking to Tony Shoup?
Yeah, no, Tony.
No, he was talking to
Okay.
Tony Hanson. Sorry about that. I'm at work and I'm still trying to figure out this new phone. Hey, what I wanted to say is I just wanted to say something to Marilyn, because we've been in 3 things together, and you watch her, and there is not a kinder, more gentle, more genuine, authentic. I mean, pick your adjective, your positive adjective. She is such a treasure.
Mhm.
And when I saw the message that I saw the other day, there is probably nobody I will ever celebrate more than her. There's nobody that, if success, entrepreneurial speaking, was based on what a good person you are, she'd be the Grant Cardone of entrepreneurs. She'd be at the top of the heap. And I'm so proud of you, Marilyn, the way you just have that, you just keep on keeping on. You do. And you never seem to get I'm sure you do. You don't show it. I just wanted to tell you, I just love you. And I just think that you are such a special, special person. And I'm so glad you're here. And she and I have sent some messages back and forth. She knows I just love her, but I wanted to tell her in the group, I wasn't going to make it to this tonight until I knew she was going to be here. And I want to hear her story sometime, because I know she must have a lot that we don't know about her, and I'm sure it's great. So anyway, thank you for letting me just tell her,
Awesome.
that I'm just so stinking proud of her.
I
Thanks,
think,
Dale.
I think everybody that knows her feels the exact same way. Yeah, it's heartwarming. Anybody making any phone calls? What are y'all doing? You're doing something. I guess a lot of you went back to your loop team, but we got to figure out how to really take this up a notch. I mean,
Hey, Dale.
and we don't have time to do it. Tony, shoot.
Hey, well, what I've been doing, I'm going door to door. I mean, I went to small businesses. I've got 3 appointments set for tomorrow after I get off work. They want to learn a little bit more about it. You know, people sometimes feel a little hoodoo-y about it because there's some, some fake stuff around. But I've came into contact with some people that have already got their ERC, just some small businesses, which to me is a really good thing. In a
Validate.
small town, when you can say, hey, Bob down here at the movies has already got his ERC money, when you can actually relate to that. But also, we actually went through and I've got a guy named Doug Hood, who's on board with us, and he's up. The man has not slept in about 2 weeks. He's getting his khakis on. He's going to industrial park. We've actually joined the Chamber of Commerce here in town in Mount Sterling. It's like $150 to be a member. But the lady at the Chamber of Commerce is setting us up a meeting, and we're going to speak to the entire industrial park, all of them at the same time. We've been going around. We've got the industrial parks online. We've actually got, we're going to different accountants, different people that do commercial taxes, they've got all the information. I mean, this thing is about to take off. Doug actually signed up a guy yesterday that Doug's not on here tonight. His mom's having some health problems, but he signed up a fella day before yesterday that we're really good friends with, go to church with. He's got 61 employees. And he's already scheduled his call. He's already made it set. It's clicking so fast for us. I mean, it's about to really take off. So we're big time excited. Big time excited.
That's awesome. And I think, guys, staying in your niche in your local market like that, where you can tell the stories, will make a huge difference. And without question, like Doug, this guy's 61 people. Well, they're warm markets, you know, and it just makes sense. If you can stay there, it's gonna pay dividends. But again, we're under a time crunch here as well. Okay, Gordy and Kelly, I see your hand, then Kamala, then Dave, then Mike. Gordy and Kelly.
Hey, well, tell them about what you do on Facebook. Sure.
Okay, yeah, I made a Facebook post and I said on our not our business page, but just my general page, our general. And I said, just curious, do any of our friends have their own business? If so, what do you do? And I've had, I can't see, 59 or 69 responses. So I've been just privately messaging them. You know, did you have 5 or more W-2s during COVID? And I'm getting some responses. I've not booked any calls off of it yet, but I'm getting responses. So I was going to post one of those ads, but I didn't want it to seem adsy. That's a word. So I tried that route to see what would happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really
That's
simple.
brilliant that's brilliant on her part.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of I'm getting private messages like, hey, why did you ask about this? And then I'm like, hey, what do you do? I got a great response from an accountant that was actually our roommate in college. And so I gave that lead to Gordy. But anyway, it's getting communication going.
Everybody should do that tonight.
Yeah, it's
Hey
really
guys,
easy.
any of our friends own a brick and mortar business?
Yeah.
Do any of you have a brick and mortar business? Just curious. Inbox me. That's good stuff. That's really good. That's simple. Everybody can do that.
It's really simple.
Yeah. And
One
it's
thing
not salesy.
Exactly.
No, at all. one thing I've been doing is, for example, I talked to a kid today and he was working for a guy. And I said, does your guy have any W-2 employees? He said, no, we're all 1099s. No, he didn't say that. He said, I don't know. I said, how many employees you have? He says, oh, 10 or 15 of us or something like that. I said, well, he said, why'd you ask? And I tell him real quick, I'm helping. And I said, here's the thing, Sherman. I said, if something, he's wanting a pair of Spurs. I said, if something goes through, them Spurs are free, buddy. He says, hold on. Let me get him on we hung up. He called, found out that they're 1099 guys. So the deal was over. But the point being is finder fee. And I've been telling, in rodeo, there's a concept, if you ride somebody else's horse, it's 25%. They call it mount money. So in my circle, I say, hey, there's a little mount money in this deal if you want. So I've been offering a straight up finder's fee and letting them know that it's not going to be, you're going to be able, it's going to be good. It's going to be, possibly in the thousands of dollars. So I've been throwing that out there. One thing I wanted to mention on Marilyn, two things about Marilyn. I took a note here. Is she used the word specialist? That might have come from your script, but I have not used that word one time. I say consultant or expert or something, but I really like the word specialist. And I just wish I could probably say it as tenderly as Marilyn, because I probably don't. But one thing about anybody that's been getting hammered by any kind of a telemarketer or anything over the phone, if they hear Marilyn's voice on the phone, they're not hanging up. They can't. So we got fleas over here. They're jumping all over our dogs. So we call the flea guy. He comes out. We just happens to be the owner. I get to visit with him. He's got a nice truck. It's a nice truck. And I get to talk with him about his business, et cetera. And I said, hey, you happen to have any W-2 employees? Yeah. And he said, I got 3. I said, how many did you have? 5 did you have any during COVID? He said, yeah, I think I had 5 or 6. And I just throw my hand up and I say, for the high five, I said, buddy, we're fixing to make you some money today. And he's like, what you got, man? Well, what the heck's he going to say? So, he's thanking us right and left. He signed a contract. I mean, but I didn't say, well, I said, man, and so you got to play the moment. I haven't talked to many people in person, but man, and he didn't even know why I was putting my hand up when he said 5 W-2s. I'm like, congratulations, you have employees. He didn't know what the heck's going on. People will ask me, are you getting a cutoff of this deal? When I'm talking to my more market, I say, absolutely. And as soon as they find out that I'm making money off the deal, then it's the opposite of what you'd think. They're willing to help. And I called one guy and I'd missed him, because we got started late on this deal. And he said, well, I tell you, he was a farmer down in Georgia or something, or Louisiana. And he said, man, I wish I'd have known it. I wish could have done it with you instead of that grumpy old lawyer lady that got my money. But he says, I said, would you know anybody else? He said, yeah, I know a guy up the road's got him about 15 employees. I'll check with him. But most of us around here done got it. Well, anyway, so I'll follow up with him. Another guy that's he signed a contract, but it was kind of going stale. I called him up and said, Dave, what we'll do is I'll say, did you have any luck on the call with bottom line? I've been, kind of thinking of a good way to follow up, but that's working real well. And then, like we said the other night, when we send them a warning, 10 minutes before the call, we say, good luck. Hope you get some money. So now we're not trying to make commission off them. Now we're on the same team. I had one lady, the lady I bought the shoes from, she wasn't going to schedule the call. She said she didn't qualify because she had an increase in revenue. And I gave them Dave's line. 95% of the people that get on the phone have already don't think they qualify. There's 14,000 ways to qualify, etc. So please make sure you're on the call. You don't want to miss out on this money. Well, and so we text her a warning, and she went from I do not in all caps qualify to she gave me liked the warning call, if you will. Well, it turns out she didn't qualify because she only had 3 employees. And I called her back to tell her that I'd found out that our company doesn't deal with less than 5 people, but she might be able to get it even if she's got 3. And I said, obviously, there's nothing in that for me. But I just wanted to let you know that. And she appreciated that. And I said, but if you know somebody that has 5 or more, would you please send them my way? And when she knows that I took the time to call her back when I found out that this company couldn't help her, but maybe she could still get some money, she appreciates that. So
I
everybody's
need to
helping.
say this. Keep those people in your pile, because I think iHub is looking for another source beyond bottom line.
This is a guy he's a guy.
Don't take
Okay.
it.
But
I'll
below
tell.
bottom line where we can do under 5. I think they're looking for that. So y'all just keep that in mind. Kamala, then Dave Johnson, then Mike, and then y'all hurry up. Don't take too long. Give everybody a chance to talk before we have to jump on this call.
I've made calls. I was just gonna talk about, I've made the calls, but I've like bombed every one of them. But I'm still gonna keep going at it. So a script would work wonderful for me.
For the phone calls,
Yes.
the initial, I think my name is Dale Calvert up from over in Marietta. I have information about stimulus money due to A&Z Manufacturing. Who do I need to speak with? I think if y'all come up with a better first line, let me know. But I think that's a good, I mean, that'll get us going. And then from there, it's like, you kind of got to know what to do. You know, yeah, I think it's just getting past that gatekeeper. Dave, then Mike Culver.
Hey guys, and thanks Dale. The thing that I've been doing is pulling doors really, and I use my warm market. I ran into a guy yesterday, one of my newest loop players. I found out he's got 3 different, I think he said 3 different businesses, and he's got over 400 employees, possibly in one of them over, it pushes him over 500. But that being said, it's always good to work, you know, and talk to him. Like Gordy says, have a conversation, have that genuine conversation. And I love keeping it simple. That simple little script you just read is perfect, because you've got to get past that gatekeeper. That's what I've been running into the most, is running into gatekeepers that will try to shoo you off. You know, that's what their job is. They got to shoo you off. And the best way to get around that is something like that. Who do I need to speak to? And I always mention, I've gone in and I've made a joke of it. Hey, we owe you guys some money, you know, that kind of thing. And they're like, who? Well, the government. And I'm part of the government, so I'm here to talk to you about it. And it kind of breaks the ice. But I'm finding a lot of, I'm not like building a team, you know. I'm learning. I'm definitely learning. I'm grateful to be a part of this team and to learn these things from you guys, because it's helping me to hone and refine my personal development so that I can get better at this, you know. The other thing, the last thing I'll say is Marilyn. I know that feeling, and that smile on her face was genuine. And there's a reason why I love being part of this team. And now I'm starting to reach out to others on this team. Hey, what kind of ideas you got? And then I'm also reaching out to them to say, hey, I found out this and I found out that, you know, maybe we can use this. And I've been really, really getting some success and some traction on that. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Mike Culver. Thank you, Dave. Mike Culver, then Gino.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to give you guys an update and give you an update on my approach. I this week have finalized a couple deals with a CRM system with an auto dialer. So ironically enough, the sales rep signed up as an affiliate as well. He wants to leverage his business contacts and reach out. And then I also closed a deal with the second largest lead producing company. They provide scrubbed leads where you can filter based on the type of business, everything like that. And the gal that I signed up with had mentioned that 7 other people after me have closed deals with her in reference to this ERC program. So it is a land grab, but my intent is I'll be up and running next week. I'll be with an auto dialer smiling and dialing. So I'll just give you an update next week on how that goes, but just wanted to let you know that's what I'm working on.
Cool. Gino.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, I got 2 in progress, and I love this back office. It kind of just tracks everything for you. And I got an appointment tomorrow and a couple phone calls. I'm just starting my email campaign up. The question I wanted to ask from Gordy is, like, how far have you gotten into the process so far with some of your contacts? Where are you at with that, Gordy?
Well, Kelly would know better than me, but real quick before I answer that, the reason I jumped off that call and took that phone call.
Did I freeze out?
That was a guy that had kind of gone cold. So I answered his call. That was about ERC when I just got off the second ago. And the point being is we're tracking him or whatever, and we can see, and he'd gotten a little cold. So I said, hey, how's it going with ERC? Real simple question. And then he's like, well, and he was dragging his feet, and he thought maybe the whole thing wasn't real. And because I've talked to so many people, I know that this thing's very, very real. Like I've talked to a lot of people that have already been paid. So I kind of massaged him a little bit, and he was just calling me back tonight to say, hey man, this thing's real, huh? And I don't know what he's got, 15, 20. Anyways, point being, check back. If things start going cold, just check back. And we can see in our back office that contracts are being signed, data is being gathered. And I'll say something like, did you have any luck? Knowing they were on the call, did you have any luck on the phone with bottom line? Knowing full well, I think we have 7 contracts signed or something like that.
We've got 7 contracts, which equals 145. They're actually in the question. They passed the questionnaire. They're now sending documents over. So that's a really good place to be. That's 145 W-2s. And then we've got 466 W-2s that the agreement's been sent to the business owner. And so follow-up is definitely key. The back office is pretty explanatory. I will say there sometimes is a lag. And I think that lag now, I'm starting to assume that it's because maybe they've had their meeting and they said, yeah, I'm all in, but I want, let me have the contract. I want to look at the contract. I want to go over it with an attorney. I've heard that. We've heard that one. So it's really good. You can use that. You can see they change from a contact or a lead to a contact or vice versa. And then over on the right, you can get more info. Click on that. You can see it'll list everything, the steps where they are. And if it's green, it's completed. Brown, it hasn't happened. So
one of the most important things though is like once you get your verbiage down, like when I start on the phone call, I mean, every now and then they'll say, what's up? Hey, how many W-2s you got? I'm helping people with ERC. Most of the time it's like, hey, you've been roping. How's it going? Have a conversation like Dale said. Okay. And then would you be opposed to jumping on the call? I said two or three that way today. Oh, no problem. Very casual. Would you be opposed to jumping on the call? Okay. You get their data. You enter the call. Then you send them a screenshot of the call. Then 10 minutes before the call, they get a warning call. Good luck. And then see what happens. I don't call them the day of. Let the whole thing transpire. The one guy texts me back, man, I'm qualified. Thank you so much. The bug guy. But then how did it go on the phone? How did it go? Did you have any luck with bottom line on the call? And that's even if they didn't get, if we see they didn't get on the call, I might send that as well.
Because we have, what is it? Almost 1,600 W-2s right now, but they're not all, everybody's either not answered the call, they've missed their call. So you really have to follow that, because we all know you do not follow up, you're going to lose, you've got to stay on it.
But did you, a great response, I think in almost any case, unless they call you or text you back. And I'll even say, hey, let me know how it goes on the call. I hope you qualify. Once again, we're on their side. It's not about us. But did you have any luck on the call with bottom line? Question mark. Hope you qualified. Hope you're getting some money. Whether they answered the call, whether they've signed a contract, whether they missed the phone call. I think that's a pretty safe way to follow up, because it gets you back in the deal. The one thing you wouldn't want to say is, did you answer the call so I get my commission? Obviously, but I mean, if we can put ourselves on the same side with them, I'm working with you to get you paid. Because if that paradigm's in their head, And if you can create that before they ever make the call, I think they're a lot less to worry about
Game
the
changer.
20% fee and start shopping around and all that stuff. And once again, guys, I mean, it's your call, it's your business, but I am not opposed to incentivizing these people with a finder fee. I mean, I'm hoping I'm writing checks to people for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Good stuff, guys. It's the same as anything we've all ever done. And you can choose to do it well, or you can choose to kind of play around with it. But like I tried to mention, I think last week, it's about going all in. And is this worth going all in on? Because of the commissions are so enormous and the value we're providing to the market, this is just fun. Have fun with it. And you don't have to act like you're on their team. Be on their team. Just be on their team. I'm on their team. I don't care. There's a lot more people that I can play with, but I'm on their team as long as they keep moving forward. Y'all with us? Everybody good? I think we hit everybody's that had their hand raised. Mike Calvert, if you get a chance, we probably need to talk this weekend. I want to see what's going on with the auto dialer. I don't know if I want to do that. I want to go to some industrial parks. You know, I really want to do that. I love that. I like looking at somebody. I don't like talking on the phone that much, but I'm going to try everything. And you just got to figure out what works for you. And for some of you, you need to forget this and just do loop. Loop's residual. And you can make $1 million with loop. I want to do both. Some of you want to do both, but you don't have to do both. You don't have to do both. You can do whatever you want to do. You got the two best opportunities I have seen in 42 years. I like them both, but man, with the ERC, we're going to have to get through massive numbers. And you know what? In December, it's going to be more numbers than November. January, it's going to be more numbers than December. February, it's going to be more numbers than January. And by June, it's like asking people, have they ever heard of Amway? That's where this is going. It's going to be totally gone by June. No way it cannot be. It's too good. And then we can get back in the loop mode. And by that time, everybody will be trying to figure out how to do ERC. And it's going to be gone by the time most people even figure out anything. So strike while the iron's hot. Strike while the
Yeah,
iron's hot.
it's 9 o'clock already.
Okay, Betty Kramer, real quick.
I'm in Leesburg, Florida. If anybody's within 2 hours of me, I'll pull doors as long as they want to any day. But it can't be dark. I can't drive in the dark.
Cool. All right, guys. See you in the Facebook group. Jump on the call. Hope we have some good news. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.